I'd like to talk about JVAR, or the impossible collection to make. We're going to be talking about lab-grown diamonds again, but not as a budget alternative or a passing trend, as a true creative revolution in fine jewelry. Because when you take this material seriously, something extraordinary happens, and no one proves that better than JVAR and its visionary founder, Amish Shah. But before we get into his work, here's a little reminder. Lab-grown diamonds are chemically, optically, physically identical to mined diamonds. And the only difference is the origin. One comes from underground, the other one comes from science and light. But here's what most people don't realize. Lab-grown diamonds don't just copy nature, they unlock it. And that's where Amish Shah comes in. He was the first person to introduce a branded collection of lab-grown diamonds into the United States. And he didn't come out of nowhere. Amish actually comes from a family legacy rooted in Indian jewelry manufacturing, one of the most sophisticated, historically rich jewelry ecosystem in the world. And yes, we're talking about mined diamonds originally. He's built factories and he understands gem sourcing more than anyone. And more importantly, he understands what makes jewelry valuable beyond the price. We're talking about the story, the soul, and the skill. Which brings us to the collection that kind of changed everything. Type by JVAR. So let me paint the picture. Think about a 2 to 4 carat lab-grown diamonds, yes, a solid rough stone, and then you sculpt it into a letter, an initial, a pendant, a symbol. You set it in gold so that you give a little bit of structure, but it's not accented with a pavé diamond or any side stones. It is beautifully carved from the diamond itself. And that's not just a design. It's defying everything jewelers said was impossible in the beginning. And no one could actually do this before, not because they didn't want to, but because if you take a mined diamond in the rough that size, in order to shape it, in order to have the best clarity possible, it would have been astronomically priced and nearly impossible to source consistently because you would lose so much raw material that it would just not be interesting long-term and also price-wise. And Amish made it beautifully. And what does that tell us? That lab-grown isn't just about ethics or cost, but it's really deeply rooted into the creative freedom. It's about giving that material some accessibility to create things, to empower artistry. And it challenges the old definition of what's precious and what's not. Now with JVAR, lab-grown diamonds aren't just a shortcut. They're a getaway to the future of jewelry, where innovation meets heritage and where vision meets execution. It's still a family-owned business. They still think together. It took him almost 3 years to arrive to the perfection that he wanted to achieve to create this collection. And if carving a diamond into a letter doesn't sound like poetry, well, quite frankly, I don't know what does, considering how important initial letters and initial collections and nameplates are in the American culture. Now, when you think about Amish sketching into a workshop, whether it's a lab-grown or a mined diamond, in a raw form or in a cut form, it really is, and he really is, rethinking value into redefining what was considered originally impossible.